Hi everyone, welcome to our Tuesday TNT and good morning to a group of bikers that have just made their way to Chipfeilele here along Turtle Beach, and they've ridden up all the way from Koh Kao, my old stamping ground back in Phuket. It takes me about an hour and a half to drive here in a car. I have no idea what time they got up this morning to head up here. Anyway, thank you very much again to Chipfeilele and the staff for allowing me to do the program here. There's quite a few people enjoying the outside of the cafe and having a sip of very tasty coffee. Now let's get into stories, quite a varied range today, and starting off with what I think is quite a troubling story. Thai PBS World reports that Russian-sanctioned rock band arrested in Phuket and face deportation to Russia. And the Russian-sanctioned rock band BI2 or BI2, which includes 4 Israeli citizens, was arrested in Phuket last Thursday for performing without appropriate permits. Now, the members of the band were all fined, had their passports confiscated, and were taken into detention. Apparently, some of the members are Israeli citizens, which has sort of further complicated the issue. And there's a possibility the band could be deported to Russia, where they face imprisonment over their opposition to the war in Ukraine. The band has a history of legal trouble with the Russian government, according to the Jerusalem Post, which was one of the original publishers that got this story out. And the band has a history of trouble for speaking out against the Russian government, including cancellation of shows, and Burtnik has even been listed as a foreign agent by the Russian Justice Ministry. And then referring to the 2 Israeli citizens, even more alarming, the story says, it would make the arrest very complicated for the Israeli Foreign Ministry to navigate. According to news reports, the decision to deport the band or not will be made today. Now, I can bet you this story is going to be ramping up big time during the next 24 hours, or indeed, if there is a decision today. This is the way we sort of saw it covered in Google. Associated Press: Thailand may deport visiting dissent rock band. Bangkok Post: dissident Russian rock band faces deportation. ThailandNews.co: Russian rock band arrested in Phuket face deportation. Human Rights Watch: Thailand don't return rock band members to Russia. And on it goes. The story already making a lot of news around the world. And we go to the Washington Post. Russian rock band that protested war may be deported to Moscow from Thailand. And members of a prominent self-exiled Russian rock band that publicly opposed the invasion of Ukraine may force deportation from Thailand back to Moscow. And then their case could be a warning to artists who criticise President Vladimir Putin but manage to thrive abroad despite Kremlin efforts to cut them off from their audiences. And then 7 members of BI2 were detained in Thailand last week after a show on Phuket Island, with authorities citing problems with permits. And a statement from the band said they always held their concerts in accordance with local laws and practices, adding the show's local organiser incorrectly filled out the paperwork, a minor offence, for which they were each fined about $84 and paid on the spot. Look, I'd probably estimate that at least half the performers, the musicians in Phuket, were not performing with the proper permits. Indeed, a minor indiscretion. But after the hearing, the band members were detained by the Thai immigration police and taken to Bangkok, where authorities are expected to rule on their deportation. And a band representative said, "We've not been presented with any additional charges. The situation and the noise around it suggest that outside pressure played a significant role in our detention. We know that the reasons for this pressure are our creativity, our views, our position." And in the statement, BI2 said they weren't provided a translator during the hearing and couldn't understand the case documents. That, if true, in itself is a reason for them to be released. And Russia's Consul General in Phuket told the Russian state news agency RIA Novosti that consular officials had not been involved in the deportation process. Well, I think he can expect a phone call. "Comrade, you are coming back to Russia." And according to the consul, 5 of the 7 band members hold Russian passports, while 1 entered Thailand on an Israeli passport and another with an Australian passport. According to local laws, deportation is carried out by direct flights to the country where the passport was issued. So you've got the Russian government, you've got the Thai government, you've got the relationships between the Thai and Russian government, and you've also got the Israeli government and the Australian government thrown in there as well. And you can be assured that the phones would have been running hot over the past 24 hours. Now we can only hope, as this decision is expected today, that the Thai government shows a bit of common sense in coming down with its findings. Now, just to be clear, these guys have already paid their fines for the apparent indiscretion with their work permits. They should be taken down to the immigration office. They should have a photo with the immigration chief there. There should be a few Ys, and that should be the end of it. But no, it looks like the Russian government are going to try and ramp this up. But we'll keep you informed on what happens with that story. Now, we go to the PattayaNews.com, and a Taiwanese man has been arrested in Pattaya for overstay and money laundering. And in a joint operation yesterday, Thai and Taiwanese authorities apprehended a 27-year-old Taiwanese national, a Mr. Phang Nga, who's wanted for money laundering in his home country and overstaying his visa in Pattaya. And he's been hiding in Pattaya following his alleged involvement in the financial crime in Taiwan. And the arrest was made on a tip-off received from the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Thailand. They alerted Thai authorities about Mr. Hung's whereabouts in Pattaya and requested assistance in apprehending him based on the existing arrest warrant for money laundering issued in Taiwan. Now, as a tourist, he entered Thailand back in May 2021, but his permit expired on November the 18th that same year, so he's overstayed his visa and illegally continued residing in an unidentified hotel on Pattaya 3rd Road in central Pattaya. So overstaying your tourist visa by 2.5 years isn't a small matter. And this gentleman is quite a large person, quite imposing there with the Thai immigration police. We go to Nation Thailand now, and a bit of a disturbing headline. Thailand ranks 4th highest in liver cancer deaths. Now, if I was asked to rank the world's top countries for liver cancer, I don't think I would have put Thailand in that list, but there you go. The Voice of Liver 2024, that was the name of the conference. The Voice of Liver. Now, it highlighted the challenge of cancer, the leading cause of death in Thailand's public health system. That's cancers generally, not just liver cancer. And Thailand had approximately 140,000 new cancer patients per year, with approximately 84,000 deaths. And the director of the National Cancer Institute said that a large number of liver cancer patients were found in Asia, 73.3%, according to data from Globocan WHO Liver 2020. So nearly 3/4 of the world's liver cancer patients are in Asia. And Thailand ranks 4th in the world in deaths from liver cancer. And it would take me half an hour to read out the name and title of the next gentleman, but he said, in Thailand, the death rate from liver cancer is as high as 26,704 cases a year, and early stages of hepatocellular carcinoma often cause no symptoms. Therefore, patients usually come to seek professional help when the disease has progressed, resulting in poor outcomes. And something I should declare that I found at the end of the article, the event was sponsored by Roche Thailand. I'm assuming that Roche Thailand provides some of the drugs for liver cancer patients. And a big thank you to our sponsors, 5 Star Marine, who I can recommend as a safe and bespoke choice for taking a tour from the island of Phuket out into the waters of Phang Nga Bay. And the next 3 or 4 months down this part of the world, it'll be just absolutely spectacular. I understand they're pretty heavily booked at the moment, but if you do want to make a forward booking, you can go to 5starmarinephuket.com, or you can check a link below this video in the description. Moving on to our next story now, and staying in the area of Phuket, and Nation Thailand reports that Phang Nga Airport feasibility study back on track in bid to boost tourism in the south. And the government's resumed its feasibility study on a new airport in Phang Nga with the objective of linking the province up with tourist hubs like Phuket and Krabi. And the study's slated for completion this August, according to the Transport Minister. And the new airport's dubbed the Phang Nga Andaman International Airport, and it should alleviate congestion at the Phuket International Airport and handle as many as 22.5 million tourists per year. And the 7,000 rai, that's 1,120 hectare airport costing 80 billion baht, is also expected to handle 43 flights per hour. 43 flights per hour, that's like about one flight every 1.5 minutes. Certainly hope we're not on the flight path here. Though the airport's meant to primarily serve international travellers, there are plans to link it to other airports in the region like Krabi and Hat Yai through road and rail networks. Well, there's no rail coming out of this area. You have to, at the moment, go to Suratani to catch a train if you want to head south. And if given the green light, construction of the airport is slated to commence in 2028 with a targeted completion in 2031. And in tandem with this ambition project, the AOT, that's the Airports of Thailand, is eyeing a comprehensive refurbishment initiative for other airports along the Andaman coast. This includes major renovation in Phuket. Really don't know what they can do with that particular airport. The whole community has sort of got it hemmed in. There's really not much room for it to move. And the potential expansion of Krabi Airport so it can handle as many as 12 million passengers per year. And then it says Phuket International Airport's also set to expand its facilities with the addition of a new seaplane and ferry terminal. This addition will streamline transportation to coastal destinations along the Gulf of Thailand and the Andaman Sea, offering seamless access to popular destinations like Khao Lak and Patong Beach. Well, we could speak for half an hour about some of those issues, but basically the seaplane could possibly offer trips across the Isthmus of Kra to islands like Koh Samui, Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, avoiding the Samui airport. And then when it comes to better access to places like Khao Lak, well, there's already a 4-lane road, a very quiet road that I love driving on anytime I'm heading down to Phuket, and it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to go from the airport to Khao Lak. No problem there at all, doesn't need any work at all. And then when it comes to Patong, well, that's just a shit show. As you come out of the airport and turn right, you're just straight into the traffic for an hour or an hour and a half at the moment. And what they're going to do to improve the traffic, I can't imagine. As far as putting a ferry from the airport down to some of those coastal destinations like Patong, that's okay for about 4 or 5 months a year, but during the wet season and the southwest monsoon, we're completely impractical. So just putting that last story in a bit of context for you, here's a quick mud map. Phuket in red down there at the bottom, separated by a 300-metre bridge to the mainland. The red arrows pointing to where I live. The blue arrow is the Khao Lak area, just half an hour north of here. And then in the green circle, we've got the area called Krabi. This is Phang Nga Bay, where a lot of the beautiful islands are. Then the black cross is where I believe this new Andaman International Airport's going to be, sort of in the hinterland behind the Kok Kloi area in Phang Nga. Hopefully that helps. This woman needed a bit of help, and we go to Thai PBS World. GPS gone awry. And this has happened more than once. I thought that photo might have been a file photo, but in fact, that's her. And a woman who was relying on GPS to navigate the way to visit a friend in Phra province on Sunday found her car stuck on a small pedestrian suspension bridge over the river. She narrowly escaped tragedy as the wooden bridge's planks broke under the weight of her car, causing her left wheel to become stuck. A police and rescue team used tractors to pull the car back onto the bank of the river. And the 120-metre bridge over the Yom River connects two villages in Tambon, Wiang Tong and Sung Men district. And she says, I've never been to Wiang Tong before. My friend pinned a location for me in the GPS system to cross what is called the Wiang Tong Bridge, so I would reach the destination. And she simply followed the guidance of the GPS, and she didn't see a cement bridge about 40 metres away. That's why I got stuck on the bridge. I didn't know that a new bridge had been built near the old one, which is used only by pedestrians. And there she is, poised on basically a wooden pedestrian bridge, and clearly not designed for cars. How she actually got that far on the bridge is anyone's guess, but at least she's safe, and it sounds like she got her car back as well. And with that, I thank you very much for watching today. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. Please support our sponsors, 5 Star Marine, and also subscribe to the channel. I'd be very grateful, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.